Have you ever wondered what it's like to marry a widow? You might imagine it's just like any other marriage, but there's a side to it that many don't talk about. Let me share with you some real insights, things that could surprise you. Risk 1. The ghost of the past. Picture this. You've just fallen in love, and everything seems perfect. But then, in the quiet moments, you can't help but notice that your partner's past keeps creeping into the present. It's not unusual for widows to still carry memories of their late spouse, whether it's their favorite song, the place they used to visit together, or the way they talked. You may find yourself competing with a ghost. It's not that they don't love you, but their past love was a significant chapter in their life. Understanding this can be tough. You might feel like you're constantly being compared to someone you can't compete with, no matter how hard you try. And it's important to acknowledge that this feeling may never fully disappear. Can you handle sharing your life with someone whose heart is still partly in the past? Risk 2. Emotional baggage. Marrying a widow isn't just about the person they've lost. It's also about the emotional scars that loss has left behind. Think of it like this. Imagine carrying a heavy bag around every day, and one day, you're handed another one. That's the emotional weight you might unknowingly carry with your partner. Widows often go through grief and trauma, and while they may have healed in many ways, some wounds may still be fresh. It's not always visible. You may think everything is fine, but deep down, there might still be pain. The question is, are you ready to help them navigate this, to support them when the sadness hits unexpectedly? It's a risk that often goes unnoticed, but can be emotionally draining. Risk 3. The children factor. If the widow has children from her late husband, well, it's not just her you'll be marrying. The relationship with her children can be complicated. You might enter this marriage with good intentions, but the kids might not see you as a new parent figure. They might view you as an outsider, someone who can never replace their dad. This dynamic can be challenging, and it takes time, effort, and patience to build that trust. They might not be ready to accept you, and you might find yourself in awkward situations, feeling rejected or unappreciated. It's crucial to be prepared for this, because no matter how much you love your partner, her children will always be part of the equation. Risk 4. Pressure to be perfect. Let's talk about expectations. You know how, in a regular marriage, two people bring their flaws and work through them together. With a widow, it might feel like there's extra pressure. You're not just stepping into a relationship with a partner. You're stepping into a situation where she's used to handling things a certain way. She might have had her own routines, her own ways of coping with life. You could end up feeling like you're walking on eggshells, trying to be perfect, trying to fill shoes that aren't your own. The weight of this expectation can be overwhelming. It's not that she's demanding perfection, but you might find yourself second-guessing every move you make, afraid that you're not living up to the image of the man she lost. Risk 5. People's judgment. Let's face it, society can be judgmental. Marrying a widow sometimes comes with a certain stigma. People will talk whether you're ready for it or not. Some might ask, why marry someone with baggage? Why take on someone else's history? Others might gossip, doubting your intentions. People can be quick to assume you're only in it for the status or the inheritance. Your relationship will often be scrutinized from all angles. How strong are you, really, to handle the judgment from others? Are you prepared for the whispers, the side glances, or the unsolicited advice? It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's a risk that comes with the territory. Risk 6. Complicated family dynamics. Families can be complicated. When you marry a widow, you're not only blending your life with hers, you're entering a whole new family dynamic. The relationship with her late husband's side of the family can be complex. Some may accept you, while others may resent you for taking their loved one's place, even if that's not your intention. It can create awkward family gatherings, tension during holidays, or uncomfortable situations when you're expected to fit in but don't feel truly welcomed. Do you have the resilience to deal with these family pressures? It's a tough question, but it's one that needs to be asked before diving in. Risk 7. The fear of losing you. This final risk is perhaps the most unexpected. A widow, after having lost someone important, might develop an intense fear of losing you. While you may think this is out of love, it can sometimes become suffocating. She might cling to you, constantly afraid that one day she'll have to go through another loss. This fear could manifest in ways that feel overwhelming or exhausting. She might try to keep you close, make sure you're always safe, and even begin to restrict your independence out of concern. Can you live with this constant worry about losing you? Are you strong enough to help her navigate this without feeling like you're being suffocated? This is just the beginning of the journey of marrying a widow. There are many layers, and it's important to go in with eyes wide open. If you think you're ready to take on the responsibility, then maybe it's the right choice for you. But remember, these risks are not something to take lightly. Are you willing to face them head on? Stay with me for the next part, where we dive even deeper into the realities of this life-changing decision. As we continue this conversation about the risks of marrying a widow, let's shift gears a little and talk about something more personal, yet equally significant. Risk 8. Rebuilding trust. Trust, in any relationship, is a cornerstone. But when you marry a widow, you might find that rebuilding trust becomes a bit more complicated. After losing her previous partner, your spouse might have a built-in guard up whether she admits it or not. It's not just about building trust with you. It's about her own healing process. She may have trusted someone deeply, and that trust was broken with loss. So when you come into the picture, there's an underlying fear of that trust being broken again. She might withhold certain things, or be hesitant in some situations, making it difficult to connect emotionally as deeply as you might want to. It's not about you being untrustworthy. It's about the scar left by the past. Rebuilding trust takes time. It requires patience, empathy, and a whole lot of reassurance. Are you ready for this challenge? Are you strong enough to show that you can be the one who one-t break that trust? Risk 9. Comparisons that can't be avoided. While we touched on the idea of your partner's late spouse earlier, let's dig a little deeper. The inevitable comparisons that come up can make the relationship feel like a constant uphill battle. It might not be as overt as you think. These comparisons might be subtle. The way she smiles when she talks about him, the phrases that slip out when she mentions him, or even the way she behaves in certain situations. All these little things can create a sense of distance between you and her. It's not that she's trying to compare you directly, but these comparisons can seep in unconsciously. The question is, how do you handle that? Can you live with the idea that, even if it's not intentional, you'll always be measured against someone who once held such a central place in her heart? The key here is not to take it personally. It is a process of accepting and understanding that you may not always come first, and that that's okay, as long as you're truly committed. Risk 10. Loss of independence. This one is subtle, but real. Marrying a widow doesn't just change your life, it changes hers too. If she spent years being independent after her spouse's passing, suddenly having someone around full-time can create a sense of dependency or a fear of losing that independence. She might cling to certain aspects of her autonomy, sometimes unintentionally pulling away when you try to get closer. You might have to navigate these delicate moments where you're trying to be supportive, but she's hesitant to lean on you in the ways she might need to. Sometimes, the issue isn't about you at all, it's about her struggle to redefine her identity and independence in this new chapter. How will you handle these moments? Will you be able to step back and give her the space she needs, while still being there for her? Understanding that she may need to figure out her own balance is a key part of this risk. Risk 11. Living up to expectations from others. Now, let's talk about the pressure from others. A widow often faces a unique form of societal scrutiny. She may have to answer uncomfortable questions about why she's remarried or why she's moved on. You, as her new partner, will also feel that gaze. People can be critical. They'll wonder if you're the right person for her, whether you read just a replacement, or if your love is as genuine as her previous one. There's also the question of whether you're just in it for the wrong reasons, whether it's for financial gain or some sort of status. People don't always understand the complexities of widowhood, and you might end up facing the brunt of their doubts. Are you ready to defend your relationship? Are you willing to stand by her, even when others question your motives? It can be an exhausting battle to fight, but it's one you might have to take on together. Risk 12. The fear of failing. This risk is more of an internal one. When you marry a widow, there is often this underlying fear that you won't live up to the idealized version of her late husband. You might subconsciously worry about whether you'll be able to give her the happiness, love, and comfort she once had. The pressure of making sure that her life after loss is better than before can sometimes feel like an enormous weight on your shoulders. You'll question yourself, your abilities, and your worth. But here's the thing. No one is perfect. If you allow yourself to drown in this fear, you could miss out on the real joy that comes with building a relationship that's unique and yours. The fear of failing doesn't mean you will. It just means you need to be aware of it and not let it dictate the course of your relationship. Risk 13. The emotional roller coaster. You might think you're prepared for the ups and downs that come with being in a relationship, but marrying a widow can feel like an emotional roller coaster. One day, everything is smooth sailing, but the next, there could be sudden waves of sadness, nostalgia, or unexpected tears. The grief that your partner carries isn't something that magically disappears once she enters a new relationship. It comes and goes in waves, sometimes without warning. You might feel as though you're walking on a fine line, trying to be her support system without losing your own emotional balance. Are you ready to ride out the storms and still hold on to the joy? And we're not done yet. There are still more layers to uncover, more complexities to dive into. But let's take a moment to pause here. This journey is not for the faint of heart, but it's certainly a path that can lead to something meaningful if both partners are willing to navigate it together. Risk 14. The fear of moving on. One of the deeper risks that many consider when marrying a widow is the fear of fully moving on. The emotional weight of the past may still linger, especially in moments of deep reflection. Sometimes, your partner may be afraid of loving again, of giving her heart fully to someone after experiencing such a profound loss. This fear might not always be visible, but it can surface during the more intimate moments of the relationship. She may fear that if she fully commits to you, it's somehow a betrayal of her late husband's memory. It's a delicate balance to help her realize that loving you doesn't erase her past, but it allows for a future that's just as meaningful. Are you prepared to reassure her, to create a space where she can let go of this fear and embrace the possibility of a new life? Risk 15. Expectations of replacement. Another layer to this complicated relationship dynamic is the potential expectation to replace her late spouse. The reality is, no one can replace another person, no matter how much love is shared. You may feel pressured to step into shoes that are impossible to fill. Whether it's stepping up in ways you feel uncertain about or trying to mirror the qualities that made her late husband so special to her. The comparison can be overwhelming. This expectation to measure up can sometimes feel suffocating, especially if you constantly reminded of the standard set by someone who no longer walks this earth. It's crucial to understand that your partner doesn't need you to be the same person as her late spouse. She needs you to be the best version of yourself. That's the person she's choosing to love, and that's the person she wants to build a life with. Risk 16. Emotional intensity. Marrying a widow can also mean stepping into a relationship that's more emotionally intense than you might expect. Having experienced profound loss, your partner's emotions might run deeper, and the way she processes feelings can be different from someone who hasn't experienced that level of grief. You may find yourself in situations where her emotions become overwhelming, where she feels everything deeply, from happiness to sadness. It's not just about dealing with her emotions. It's about dealing with the intensity of them. Are you ready to navigate the emotional roller coaster that comes with loving someone who has experienced such a deep loss? As we've explored, marrying a widow comes with a unique set of challenges. It's not an easy road, but it's one that many people choose to walk for the deep love and companionship it offers. If you're contemplating this decision, understand that the journey will require patience, understanding, and a great deal of emotional resilience. You're not just marrying a person, you're marrying a story, a history, and a future that you will create together. So, if you found yourself relating to these risks, take a moment to ask yourself, are you ready for the responsibility? Are you ready to be someone's new love, despite the emotional hurdles, the comparisons, and the complexities of the past? But most importantly, can you bring your whole self into this relationship and offer her the unconditional love and support she deserves, knowing the risks and challenges ahead? If you're prepared to embrace these uncertainties, the journey can lead to a love that is deeper, richer, and more fulfilling than you could ever imagine. But the key to success is communication, empathy, and patience. If you're ready to face these risks and embark on a journey of love, understanding, and healing, then don't wait. Start today, and together, create a future that reflects both your unique story and the love you both deserve. Want to learn more about navigating the challenges of relationships? Hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Share your experience or ask questions. You're not alone in this journey. Let's talk about it together. Remember, true love isn't about perfection. It's about accepting the imperfections and working through them together.